Right now, I believe this is the cheapest per watt you can buy a power station for, or at least with any kind of a reputable brand name behind it. And this one is remarkable. Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. There are things that you need to buy if you're going to live the nomadic life and your best possible nomadic life. And probably the number one thing after the essential camping gear is electric, solar power. And so it's there, and it's very expensive, and you don't want to get it wrong. And so it's been really important to me to find the best bang for your buck on solar power stations. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to look at an Energizer brand solar power station. Right now, I believe this is the cheapest per watt you can buy a power station for, or at least with any kind of a reputable brand name behind it. See, that's how you have to compare, is how much they're charging per watt hour. And this one is remarkable. So, but be aware, it's 81 pounds, and that's a lot, and you might need help to lift it in the first time, and then you might need more help to move it anytime you have to move it. So it's big and it's heavy. So taking a quick first look at it, I got to tell you, my first thought is they're imitating the Bluetti Max series, the 200 Max specifically. It looks very, very much like the 200 Max. It has two 15-watt chargers. These are cell phone chargers, any cell phone that will charge wirelessly. You just set your cell phones on here and they start charging. Two big things that the 200 Max has that this doesn't is number one, that you don't have a 30 amp service, so you can't plug your RV directly into this. And number two, that you can't add extra batteries to expand your capacity as you go. You don't have either of those on this. But the savings are incredible. So two numbers, the most important ones were the weight, 81 pounds, can you handle that? And number two, the price. Full retail on this is $1,000. And because it's a brand new, output onto Amazon, right now you can get $300 off. I paid $700 for a 2150 watt hour power station. That's just incredible. You just can't compare that. There's nothing else at that good a rate. When you're considering buying a power station and you are on a tight budget, you want to get the most power you can for the least amount of money, you need to figure out the price you're paying, how many cents are you paying per watt hour. So here's a good example, the Jackery 1000. The Jackery 1000 has a 1000 watt hour battery, and it costs $1,000. You're paying $1 per watt hour. You don't want to pay $1 a watt hour. You want to pay a lot less than $1 a watt hour. Compare that Jackery to this. This is 2150 watt hours, more than double, and it's $1,000 full retail right now. And I hope it stays that price. So that works out, you're paying 46 cents a watt hour for this thing. Tremendous price. That's what you want to aim for, 50 cents a watt hour. $1 is way too much. 50 cents is really sweet. Most of the times, the top tiers are going to be about 75 cents a watt hour. So Bluetti, and I've been pushing Bluetti hard, and I'm not taking that back. Bluetti is a superior piece of equipment from a superior company. If you want to buy the best possible quality you can and pay just a little bit more, then buy Bluetti. But the 200 Max is an unbelievable piece of equipment. Really, really superior. But it's going to be a lot more money. And if you don't have that much money, then you should be looking at this. That's what we're talking about. Fitting it into your budget, not spending more than you've got, trying to buy something because it's the best. Now, because of the Energizer brand name and they're so brand new into the market, I believe this is going to be a superior deal. Like I said, because of they're so new and there's no reviews and people don't take chances. So they had to really cut the price. So I paid $700 for this. And I just looked before I started shooting this, it's still there. 30% off coupon off of a $1,000 retail. So it's $700 for 2150 watt hours. That is just incredible. And a 2100 watt inverter, I mean, it's the best deal going. That works out to 32 cents a watt hour. If you can find a better deal than that, a per watt hour on Amazon, you should grab it because that's just a screaming deal. But it won't have the Energizer name behind it. An important thing I want to tell you is this is a LiFePO4 battery. Lithium comes in multiple kinds of chemistry. LiFePO4 is by far the best of the commercially commonly available chemistries. You want LiFePO4 if you can possibly get it. Okay, let's see what all came with it. Came with the standard power supply. It does have fast charging. You can charge up to 1400 watts total between the brick and solar and everything. You can combine them all and get really fast charging. Okay, so these are the cables. One of the biggest things to me is, do they give you an MC4 cable? If they don't, then you're going to have a hard time connecting your solar panels. But this one came with it. So this is the 110 for that. It plugs into that. This is a very high quality cable, a C to a C. These are XT90 connectors. I should be able to easily run my microwave. That'll be one of the very first tests I run with it. Will my microwave run? One of the most important things is how much solar can they take and what kind of voltage? That's one of the most important questions always to look for. Most of the small power stations up to 1,000 watts will only take 200 watts, and that's not enough. 200 watts of solar panels, that's not enough. You can have up to 145 volt coming in and 900 watts max power plugged into it. I could easily get 2 more 200 watt panels. That would cost me about $500, and then I would have 800 watts of solar coming into this, and that would charge it super, super fast. The big advantages of buying these big, powerful ones is that you get more solar input, you get a great big battery, you get a big inverter. There's almost nothing you can't run with a 2100 watt inverter, except a rooftop air on an AC and a RV. Most will not run on 2100 watts. The only real disadvantage is the size and the weight. Usually the price is so high that you don't want to spend the money, $1,000 for a 1,000 watt Jackery, which is double per watt of this, and it's not a LiFePO4 battery. This is a LiFePO4 battery. Now we just have to start using it. I will set it up, get it charging with my 400 watts of solar. So I've had this Energizer now for probably a month. I've been using it. Now, if you'll look down here, I have 2 200 watt portable panels that I've been using to charge both it and the AC200 here. So I've been running both of these panels into both the Energizer and the AC200 just to compare how efficient the different MPPT's solar controller is. That's inside, of course. And I'll give you my results. Actually, I was very surprised by this. The Energizer was slightly more efficient. When it was just one 200 watt panel, it would get about 30 watts more. And when it was both panels together, 200, 200, 400, it was only 20 watts more. But at all times, it was putting more power in than the AC200 was. So I was impressed by that. That means it's got a good controller and it's working very efficiently. With the sun at the perfect height, with the Energizer, I was getting 320 watts out of the 400, and the Bluetti was getting 300 out of the 400. And you'd think, well, why didn't you get the full amount? Because it's never factory perfect conditions. You're never going to get exactly what they claim. But to get 320 out of the Energizer was good. I was completely satisfied with that. That's about what all of them do, that percentage of energy. And it would jump up every so often, but it wouldn't stay up there. It consistently ran at 320. It runs my microwave. I've run the microwave off it. I've run big things, little things. It's just really, really good. And the Bluetti, there's no doubt in my mind the Bluetti is probably better and will probably last longer. But I've bought some of the Energizer products before that I was extremely pleased with. That's why I bought the Energizer, because it's not like a lot of these no-name. Because if you have a problem, you can't get anyone to help you. You can't talk to a human being. Being Energizer, I'm hoping that you can actually talk to someone and there'll be someone will get there. Not only that, but a lot of things, the cheap Chinese stuff I test, I test it, I put it out, and it's already disappeared. You know, you can't even go buy it because it doesn't exist anymore. They come and they go that fast. So because of that, I've been reluctant to test a lot of the really cheap Chinese stuff. But Energizer is a brand name. I have real confidence it'll be there next year. It'll be there the year after. In every way, the Energizer is a clone of the AC200. I mean, it is just a clone. It uses the exact same cabling, which is a bit unusual. It's an aviation to XT90, which is not the norm. They both use exactly the same. It's really good because it's an exact clone. I think I like to liken it to the Honda 2000. Honda 2000 is the best generator you can buy, but it's very expensive. It's like $1,500. Well, you can buy a clone for $500, and a lot of those clones are less. You can buy a clone for $300. Do you want to pay 3 times more to buy the Honda quality? A lot of people do, and I wouldn't blame you if you did. It's going to last a lifetime. It's going to last decades. The clone, who knows? You get 3, 4, 5 years out of it, you're happy. So yeah, in the long run, the Honda's probably a better deal. That's exactly how I see this. I think the Bluetti is in the long run going to be a better deal. But for right now, this is so cheap that, man, if you're on a tight budget, I'd give serious thought to this Energizer. All the numbers add up. They're good. The performance is very good. So in every way, I've been extremely happy with the Energizer. The big difference is in price. So I'm a big fan of Bluetti, and nothing's going to change that. But my obligation is to you, and to tell you go spend a lot of money when there is a cheaper product that's almost as good. It's not as good. I owe it to you to say, here's this cheaper product, and I think it's also very good. So pricing. Right now, the Energizer is $999. And so right off the bat, the retail is $600 less than the AC200. And they have a $100 off coupon, so now it's $900. And then they have a 20% off coupon, and that brings it down to $720, $719. Well, that is cheap. That's 2,100 watt hours of power for $700. That is so cheap. Whereas the AC200 is $1,438, we'll call it $1,440. It is double the price. So for half the price, I'd buy the Energizer. I really think I would. I've been that happy with it. Now, I haven't tested it long term, and that really is the big question. In 5 years, is everything going to be working on the Energizer like it probably will be on the Bluetti? They might not. I mean, all these things break. There's a lot of electronics and a lot of heat packed into a small package. So, yeah. They do break. Things break on all of these power stations. They're packing too much into too small a space. Energizer did not send this to me. I paid my own money. I paid $720 for it. And Bluetti did send this to me because I reviewed pretty much all their products. So if this has been helpful to you, I hope you will like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and live your very best life today. Don't come to the end of your life and say, oh, I wish I'd lived my life better. I wish I'd done more. Oh, if only I could have, if only I would have, if only I should have. Don't do that. Live your very best life today. Thanks. See you later.